We stayed with Max's sister Sue and her husband Bill. They live in Benogan. Sue took us to see the Sky Point observation deck in the Q1 building in Surfers Paradise. What fantastic views! 360-degree panoramic views that stretch from the coastline to the green hinterland. From Sue and Bill's we headed off to Warwick. Farm has been very busy here by the looks of it. We had a 30-minute wait at these roadworks on the Cunningham Highway in Tyrone. Such a massive job restoring and repairing a 2-kilometre stretch that suffered significant road damage during the 2019 bushfires. We stayed at the Warwick Showgrounds, $30 a night, power and water. The population of Warwick is around 16,000. We were there on the 23rd of July. It was quite cool, but at least we got some sunshine. Showgrounds is a great spot for an overnight stop. A wander through town had us wondering how come there was so much yarn bombing. When I got back to the van, I had to look it up. Why did they have all this yarn bombing? So apparently Warwick has a Jumpers and Jazz in July festival that started in 2004. The idea is to personalise the cold winter streets with textile art wrapped around bare winter trees. The next two photos of the tree out the front of my home. I started yarn bombing when we were locked down during COVID, gave people something to look at on their daily walk. Some lovely old homes in Warwick. On our way to Goondiwindi, we pulled up in the Yelarbon Silo Art car park. The silo art represents Yelarbon's lagoon. A young boy is partially submerged on the edge, cooling himself and setting paper boats afloat. There's water lilies and a kingfisher flying above the surface. It's a really beautiful piece of work. I think it's the most beautiful silo art we've seen so far. The detail in the artwork is just amazing. Our next stop was Goondiwindi. Check out this wonderful display coming into Goondiwindi, the Australian coat of arms. Matthew, Mark, Luke and John, and Lot's wife. Once upon a time. And the smoko table. Look at the detail under the table and look on top. We stayed at the Goondiwindi Showgrounds, $30 power and water. Had great amenities. The population of Goondiwindi is around 10,500. We had lunch at Victoria Hotel to watch my brother Greg's horse race. Unfortunately, she didn't go very well. There was a great gun-sin display in the gun-sin lounge. Here's the old fellas checking Google Maps on their phones before we head off to Lightning Ridge. On the road again, and Max saw this bridge, so I had to take a photo and video for him. We stopped at Lawn Station Caravan Park. $20 a night for an unpowered site. There's a mural on the side of the office. Lawn Station is situated on 4,500 acres. In Lightning Ridge you can get a car door tour map. The first stop on the red car door tour was a plaque for information on the first settlement site. Check out this house, rocks and bottles. The bottles would look amazing from the inside, seeing all those colours. Here's Ridge Castle. It's a well-known landmark in Lightning Ridge. It's currently set up as a unique accommodation business, and it's for sale. Love the artwork on this little place. number 7, a KFC drive-through. Can't get any KFC there though. Next we were off to the opal mine adventure, Walk in Mine. We did the self-guided tour that costs $20 and includes a complimentary tea and coffee. Quite an interesting tour, but gee, it felt cold down there. They did tell us it was going to be 22 degrees, but I think they were telling porcupines. Lots of interesting information on when the mines were first starting. There were also a couple of videos to look at that took you through the process of mining. Next stop, the Busy Bee Cafe for lunch. What a lovely little cafe that was. Next it was the green car door tour. Took us past some ironbark trees. There was this funny little old caravan full of little stuffed toys. We ended up at this lookout. Then we came upon the Beer Can House, a quirky landmark in Lightning Ridge. It was constructed between December 1977 and February 1978 by miner Gary Holmes, his wife Pat and their 4 children. It was built using steel beer cans, the last year they were produced, after finding that large rocks were too heavy for the children to handle. The Beer Can House is located at the end of the Green Car Door tour. A great fire for our last night in Lightning Ridge. Later that night, the weather gods were not on our side. When we woke up, it was like a swimming pool between the 2 vans. Eventually it subsided a bit and we could finally step out of the van. Certainly made for an interesting time packing up. My boots eventually dried out.
We stopped at Walgett for fuel and checked out the Water Tower mural. It's of Jimmy Little, a celebrated Aboriginal musician and actor. Next stop, Bourke. We stayed at Mitchell Caravan Park for 3 nights for $121.50. The amenities are older but kept nice and clean. It's laundry, camp kitchen, and the camp kitchen has a fire pit next to it and it's lit every night. There's a swimming pool and an aviary. We went to the backo'bourke Info Centre. There's an exhibition centre attached and it costs $15 to go in. It started with a movie about backo'bourke. Backo'bourke is often referred to as the Sky Father and is credited with creating the world, its features and establishing cultural practices and laws. Backo'bourke's stories are passed down through generations, carrying deep cultural, spiritual and moral lessons. In the next building you enjoy the interactive stories of the inland sea. You discover more about the life of Henry Lawson, There's so much to learn there. You learn about the wool, riverboats and many, many conflicts. There was a display on Fred Hollows and also a display on Percy Hobson. He was an Australian high jumper and he was the first Indigenous Australian to earn a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games. We had a wander through town where we saw some beautiful old buildings. We checked out the old hospital building, and while we were there we noticed that there was a mobile CT scanner. That's fantastic for the local people. The Percy Hobson water tower mural is a wonderful work of art. We did a self-guided tour of the backo'bourke Historic Cemetery. This is where Fred Hollows is buried. Although a native of New Zealand, he chose Bourke as his last resting place. Next to the historic wharf is the 1924 Garford fire engine and Crossley engine display. We were lucky enough to see the Crossley engine start.
As you see, there's a little bit involved with actually getting this thing sorted to start it up.
Our last activity in Bourke was a cruise on the Jandra paddle boat. The cruise took us beneath the North Bourke Bridge. It was first opened in 1888 and it is the first lift bridge built in New South Wales. Heading further south tomorrow. Thanks for watching.